Hello everyone and welcome back to the LSI F1.5 EU Championship. We're today for the Qatar Grand Prix Round 5. We are underway with qualifying. That is Dave Raptors getting out of the way of somebody else. And yeah, we've got a couple minutes left. It's a sprint race, so there are definitely opportunities to make it up the grid if you mess up in qualifying. I do apologise for the stream quality. Hopefully we fixed it as best as we possibly could. And also audio levels, as we speak of audio levels. Zingy, how are you sounding? And what's the tyre situation going to be looking like?
Well, hoping I'm sounding fine, maybe not too loud or too quiet, but onto tyre strategy. I mean, this track's very demanding on tyres, so those hards, you're going to have to stretch for a while for the mediums to last and to be in good condition, because you don't want mediums that are going to fall off after 5 laps. So you want to really have them on light fuel load so you're able to push them as much as you can without them overheating or just dropping off the cliff.
Yep, that is very, very true. Alright, here we go on board with Dave Raptors as he sets another lap in this session. Sorry for being very out of my comfort zone. I don't have a controller in my hand, so it feels very, very weird. Into the hairpin we go. Nice bit of rotation there on the traction. Let's see how much time he's got to try and gain. About 4/10 he needs to get if he wants to get in front of Devon Young. Devon Young has got a race under his belt, a race and a half with the sprint race and the F1 Championship that he drove yesterday. He unfortunately did get beaten by one man, but we will not talk about him because his ego will be way too boosted if we do. Dave Raptors carries on into the third sector, up by only almost a tenth, so he needs a lot more. And around a couple of corners like this, you're not going to find 3/10 in a lap. It's pretty much flat, a very slight lift. He's got a car moving just out the way. Final corner to go. This is the only place that you can really gain lap time. If he maybe made a mistake in that final sector previously, he could gain here. Across the line though, a long way away, and it's gonna be pole position anyway.
Yeah, he must have made a mistake on the first. Oh no, Mikash has taken it off him. Dave Raptors must have made a mistake on that first lap because only 900's up to improve by that much. Yes, there's 2 corners where you can give him a lot of time, but about 4/10 in one sector is quite insane. But Mikash proving that he's still here and he's still challenging Dave Raptors, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Dave Raptors is leading the championship, isn't that correct?
He is by quite some margin as well, helping McLaren to do that. And talking about McLaren, here's Robbo, who unfortunately missed out on a potential win after a very unfortunate DNF in Japan. They won... Did they win Singapore? I think they won Singapore. So they do have a win under their belt this season, their teammate winning the other races. Let's find out if anybody can do anything else. So did Devon Young win a race? I'm so lost. There's a couple of cars that are maybe side by side that they shouldn't be, or is that something else? I'm not entirely sure. We're going to have a quick look and see if we can see what is going on there. That's maybe these guys. They've run out of fuel, are they? Oh, they're bumping each other to the pit lane.
I mean, I guess it works. I mean, it's a new tactic, I guess. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but you will never see McLaren health and AlphaTauri like that. Let's hope he gets out of the way of that Ferrari. Is that JJ or Gilly? No, it's JJ because Gilly is not racing at the moment. Isn't that right?
That is right. Gilly will not be racing for the moment. Hopefully we can see him some point soon. Maybe if somebody disconnects, we'll see him for the sprint. But other than that, unfortunately, that's going to be it for Gilly. We go across the line with Robbo, and that is going to be a P5 as he's a tenth behind his teammate. It's not looking amazing for McLaren at the moment. They've still got time to improve. Peanuts to 20.460 as Devon Young also improves. So Peanuts, a new reserve driver, looking to make a good impression. Let's see what he can do today. If he can go for a podium on debut, that would be very, very nice indeed. Lots of things happening during the session. I do want to quickly just do that to make sure everything's good. And we are live streaming. There you go. Sorry for the problems. We will fix any issues that we have after the sprint race because we will need to restart the lobby. So if the quality is down or if the audio levels are unfortunately messed up, that will have to wait until the main race, but we'll still get a decent stream underway at least anyway. Everything is possible to see and we will be able to figure out what is going on in the race. I want to look at somebody else that has started a lap. It's a little bit difficult to find out. Monk retires on, is that their out lap or their in lap? On the track, they lost it, or was that on an actual lap?
I'm not too sure, but coming out of turn 5, I think it was, they've just lost the back end. We've seen it a lot in real life, where there's just no grip around that corner, and I think he's just spun into the wall. I'm not sure what happened there, but Monk's one of the good drivers here that can get a good result, and P13 is not where he should be, especially showing his good pace in previous races.
Luckily for him, it is a sprint race, so that definitely does help. It's going to be a little bit difficult to get out from the back of the pack. Always increases a lot more risk being involved if you are further behind. His teammate, Mr. Grajak, P10 at the moment. He's also shown very good pace. As usual, you run out of ERS before you get to the line at Qatar. He goes and puts himself in P6, so not too bad at all. Very well done indeed there for Grajak. We've got Tom Brainer on an out lap. Balin, are they on a lap? They might be on a lap. They aren't on a lap, unfortunately. That is their qualifying situation sorted for the time being. They might be able to get in and go out again, but it's going to be pretty difficult. We are on board with Max, who yet again has got the dedication to be in the race tonight. It's about 3-4 o'clock in the morning somewhat for him, and there is a storm outside, so he should really be hiding under a table, but no, he's sat in his rig at the early hours of the morning in Hong Kong. He's about to cross the line to try and improve up the order. Can he at least get to the top 10 to make this worth it? Please, can we see him improve? And he goes to P8. That is pretty good for the time being, but look at the pack. It is pretty close down there. It's pretty close at the top as well. It's gonna be very tight. We've got a couple more minutes to go. I think everybody's gonna have a mad dash, and we could get some traffic issues here.
I mean, yeah, there's 20 people. This lap time is around about 1 minute 20. It's a long track if you think about it. There's a lot of straights, there's a lot of full throttle parts, so for it being 120, it's quite a long track. So I think traffic might be fine if everyone just behaves themselves, as we see the two Mercedes going out in sync. So they'll be helping each other, trying their best to be organised as possible, and hopefully, for their sake, not get in the way of each other, because that would be quite embarrassing. But yeah, it might still be an issue. You know, it's the game, it's not real life, so different variables exist.
Yep, for sure. It sure does. Okay, is that Tom? He is on a lap at the moment. He's trying his best to get himself further into the top 10. He had a race distance in yesterday as well as Devon Young, so he's pretty good. Robbo also had about half distance in yesterday, and he tried some very interesting strategies. So whether he uses that strategy that he tried yesterday, I don't know, but at least he's got that knowledge of how it is to run. Tom Brainer, on the other hand, he was racing on his own somewhat. He still gets the tyre data, the pace data, and the strategy underway a little bit. So he does have some extra knowledge. We'll come around the final corner, and this will be his final lap of the qualifying session done for the sprint race. Where will they start? DRS open for the final time. Flashing light on the back and across the line. What's it going to be? And that is going to be a 21.000. So that is a pretty decent job there. 7th place for now.
Yeah, he's saying for now, but you've got so many people. You can look at the third sector, going board with one of the Mercedes or the Ferrari of JJ. Well, not JJ, sorry, Josh, that is. You can see there's so much traffic. The two Alpines trying to get their way past the Mercedes, not giving them any space to breathe at all. But we can see it's getting really congested. There's 5 cars all starting the lap on the straight, so let's hope that no one gets held up here. There's also a Red Bull behind. I think that might be Larlock, yeah, but he's invalidated his lap time, so that's his qualifying over for now, unless he can get rounds, but I think it's a bit too late for him at the moment, so 19th is not what we would expect of him.
Yep, that is such a shame for Larlock. The only way is up, though, surely. He can make some good improvements. We are on board with Mikash at the moment. His teammate is in front of him. We're going to go on board with the McLaren driver of Robbo, or maybe actually we'll try and go with JJ. I think, is he starting? No, he's just started a lap. We'll go on board with Josh here. IGTC. Yes, that stands for Josh. Okay. Anyway, he has unfortunately backed off that lap, I believe, so that is going to be the end of his session. That is a purple sector for Jaromir in the middle sector, apparently. We will finish the lap with him at the moment. That is qualifying finish for Grajak, Tom Brainer, Beck second on his debut. Max, Balint, and JJ. Here goes Jaromir to finish next. What can he do across the line for the Alfa Romeo? What's it going to be? Top 10? It will just about be a top 10 for now. Can he hold on? I don't quite know. Gibby across the line. What's it going to be for this man? And he is going to push down Jaromir. Very, very good job. Lots of other cars crossing the line. Peanuts can't get to pole position. Devon Young invalidates. Will Mikash be able to nab it off his teammate? Will the two McLarens be able to fight for this? He's going to get a tow down to the line. That's absolutely perfect. Did he manage to maximize the final corner, though? I don't know. Mikash goes pole position at 20.198. A mega lap. Robbo P2. Devon Young, Peanuts, and Dave Raptors, the championship leader in P5.
I mean, that was perfectly orchestrated by the AlphaTauri drivers. That's a 20.1 though. That is almost pole position for the F1 drivers. So he'd be doing well there. But into the race, can he hold the advantage? Because AlphaTauri and McLaren have had a bit of a battle so far this season. And with the two AlphaTauri starting in the top three, sandwiching in the McLaren, how is it going to end up?
I don't know, but we do have Peanuts in the mix to try and stop these guys. We will quickly go through the grid as best as we can. Mikash takes pole position, Robbo in P2, and Devon Young in P3. A 5-place grid penalty for Robbo, interestingly. Unfortunately, that isn't going to be possible to remove. So I really do apologise for that one there for Robbo. But like I said, it's a sprint race, so there are opportunities to gain. We will be back for the race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready? Hold! Go! Who's gonna get it into turn one? We are finally away! 20 drivers on the grid for Qatar. Can they hold on to pole position? I don't know. Mikash, he has the outside line. To the inside is the McLaren. Can he hold on? Robbo, sitting in P2, is now in P1. And the AlphaTauri does back off. There's lots of movement behind. I don't know who is off, but there are quite a few cars. That is the Alpine at the back of Peanuts from starting so far up the order. Unfortunately, all the way down. I do not believe it. Side by side, there's a lot of bunching up. Almost 3 wide, 2 wide with the Alpine yet again. There's front wing damage for a Williams. That's Monk, unfortunately, getting involved in the contact. That is a safety car, and everything will calm down.
I don't want to be rude here, but I think there might be more front wings on the circuit than there is on cars at the moment. I've seen about 6 wings fly off. Let's count them. You've got Tom Robb without a wing, Gebby without a wing. I think is that Peanuts might have some damage. Gunter's fine, but Max and Gebby also have no wing. So there was a lot of it. There's a big incident into turn 1, and then into turn 4, Max and Gebby also collided. So maybe I just had a bit of, I don't know. It was just a bit of carnage into the first few corners, and we can see the biggest loser out of that was, I believe, Devon Young. Yeah, he's P14 with a front wing damage. Yeah.
Absolutely tragic. So both Peanuts and Devon Young have dropped down from the lead positions. We've got Becken who's up in P4, so that is a pretty decent job for him. Grajak's made a bit of a move. Jaromir is in P6 after that one, so he's done a very good job right there. Lots of people into the pit lane as we were expecting. Strategy-wise, would this change anything, Zingy, or is it just going to be exactly the same?
No, actually, yes, it would change stuff. You could, if you wanted to, go soft tyres. The mediums would usually be the preferred strategy, but with you coming in and only getting like a percentage or two per lap on the softs compared to your, like 5, you could pit for softs, have that advantage, cut through the field. Like Peanuts, he showed a great place in quali. So if he was to cut through the order, get back up to P6, P5 say, and then just hold on to DRS, he could still make something of this race. And so could everyone else, granted how much accidents there were, so who knows what will happen. These medium tyre runners might be susceptible to the guys behind them. It's
very true, but we can only find out on the final few laps. I think this is a decent position for the soft tyre runners to be in. But, oh, that's an interesting one. Becken goes off the circuit, and that is going to be a position lost. I don't think he's going to get those positions back. It doesn't look like anybody else is backing off, so I think, unfortunately, that is going to be backing down to P4. Unless he was already in P4 and he'd... Okay, so he'd accidentally overtaken, returned the positions. That is that. But as we were saying, the soft tyres, they are going to be right there. They should be good to go to the end. It's just going to be a massive defensive masterclass on the final few laps, and ERS, more importantly, is going to affect things here.
ERS, you say? I mean, you can hardly recover in this track. With the high wings that you use, it's almost max, which you may not believe due to the lots of straights and just the fast corners, but these corners require much more downforce than you think to go flat, and the ERS doesn't get recovered because you're not going fast, so people need to really play it safe, and Robbo might actually look to drop down to maybe P2 or 3 if it means what on earth happened there.
I don't know.
I think the safety car can glitch back, and Robbo was lucky not to get disqualified, but anyway, yeah, ERS, as I was saying, is so important because you're gonna lose so much if you keep on using. So Robbo might want to drop back to P3 if it's at the expense of having 50% more. Because you can overtake on this track, contrary to real life. You can go turn 1, turn 2, turn 4 is also an overtaking zone as there's a lot more lag. I don't know if that's just me or what. No, Robbo has to give the place back under safety car. And now they're just going. They're going past the safety car, I think. No.
Surely someone's getting disqualified.
No. The safety car allowed them through.
Okay, well that's going to be everyone going for a quick lap, and we're going to be under the safety car conditions for a long time. Okay.
Oh no, Yarmar got disqualified because he overtook off the track. He overtook the safety car off the track, and I think Balance also done the same thing too. Oh no. Because the safety car was trying to let everyone go, it was glitching about the place. And some people have overtaken both off track, both Alfa Romeos that is, are out.
That's an interesting one. Okay, well that's a good lesson to learn. Don't overtake the safety car off the circuit, I guess. So, wait, if you overtake the safety car off the circuit, that's just straight up disqualification, or do you get a countdown?
No, you'll get like a 3-second countdown. Like if you overtake the safety car when you're not supposed to, it'll give you about 3 seconds out soon because Yarmer overtook it and about 2-3 seconds later he got disqualified, which I was fearing when I first saw it. And then Ballant must have done the same thing. And that's what's happened. Unless the Alfa Romeos have just been screwed over. But I know Yarmer definitely did go all 4 wheels off the track, so it may just be a coincidence. But they are catching up to the safety car now, so hopefully by the end of this lap, the safety car will sort itself out and hopefully we can get underway.
Yep, hopefully it does. I apologise to everybody for these issues, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. We're in a bit of a difficult situation because I can't alt-tab to check the rulebook. We have only had 2 drivers disqualified, so that doesn't actually mean we are meant to go for a restart. It needs to be a bit more than that. So unfortunately, we're going to have to apologise. I did alt-tab for a genuine reason, so it wasn't like I was just doing it for fun. Unfortunately, I don't think there's much we can do. So I really do apologise for that one. And that, unfortunately, I think is going to have to be it.
Yes.
I physically, I can't check the rulebook to see what's going on, and as from my memory, unfortunately we can't do anything about it right now. All I can say is we're lucky that there is a sprint race to try and maybe not make up for it, but allow things to change in the main race where the points do count. So I apologise to everybody for that. We will go racing once again, though, very, very shortly. Okay, here we go. We've got Robbo leading the way for the restart of the Qatar Grand Prix. When will he go for it? He's got his teammate just 2 positions back, and he will be communicating with him to try and get that move done on Mikash as soon as possible. Remember, they can't go for it until they pass the start-finish line. Lots of people backing off. There's a car off. That's the Haas having issues still, warming up the tyres, not going just yet. Lots of people struggling, and there you go. The McLaren has made it. He's made that call. The other one reacts nicely. Will they be able to fight the AlphaTauri into the first corner? It's going to have to be a hell of a send. They will send it nicely to the inside, but surely that is never going to work like that.
Well, let's see Dave Raptor swinging it right around the outside of turn 2. It nearly makes contact with Mikash, but squeezes him off, and that's the McLaren 1-2. The restart worked wonders for them, and now they're going to try and pull away on those medium tyres. They need to watch out for the soft runners behind. And we can see Mikash trying to maybe scare Dave Raptors, but he's not close enough. As we see, there's Grajak going off wide. He must have locked the car a bit, and he's lost a few positions there.
Unfortunate for him, that's peanuts up to P7 now. 3-lap-old soft tyres, they are good to go, and he's looking like he's got a lot of pace in that car. Can he move up in front of the Ferrari soon? He'll have the traction, and he will have a lot more traction than JJ as JJ loses the car. That should be a position gain, but they're still going side by side. It's going to be so close on the exit. He's managed to get the job done, and it's a flat corner. That is always going to be his move. JJ so close behind though. He's actually having to go defensive behind from the other cars as they try and go for an overtake. Unfortunately, I can't quite see it to the inside. That is Mr. Grajak. He's trying his best. JJ pushed right to the track limits, and there's a drag race to the end, but JJ's got the slipstream, so he will have the advantage right there.
Yeah, Jack Lever looking at these two scrapping for P7 at the moment. These are for 2 championship points, and there goes Grajak down the inside of JJ. JJ looks a little bit flustered as we see Jack Lever going right around the outside, and JJ's having none of it. Slams the door shut. And speaking of, Jack trying to do the same to Lara. Look, a bit of contact was made coming into turn 4, a prime overtaking opportunity, but no, he can't do anything at the moment. He just needs to stay put and size himself up for somewhere else on the track. But it looks as though he's went a bit wide. And is that Ruben going to try and look for the move up the inside? No. But it looks as though Devin Young's going to say something about it as he gets the switchback on Ruben. A bit of contact made once again coming into the long right-hander. It looks as though Ruben's actually kept the position as we see Devin also having another switchback on him. And he's made the move finally up into P11.
That is an epic move. Well done. He's still got a little way to go now, though. That is unfortunately one Mercedes having an issue and then the other Mercedes disconnecting. So that is very unfortunate. I don't quite understand what's gone on there, but that is going to be how that one goes. Lap 6 out of lap 10. Let's see who can get the most of this race. I once again do apologise that everything is a little bit chaotic at the moment.
We see Peanuts is actually on the back of Ogio at the moment. DRS enabled, the front 2 having a little weaving competition into turn 1, but it looks as though no one's going for a move. The McLaren's just staying put. They can afford to do this for the rest of the race. Dave Raptors is leading the championship, although he looks as though he's a bit laggy, unless that's just me, but Dave Raptors can hold these guys up and then get the DRS off his teammate Robbo and then just do that cycle for the next few laps. But he needs to be careful that if he backs off too much, Mikash might look for that move down the inside, say into this hairpin. Not close enough at the moment, but if he slips up just a little bit, he could be caught napping, and that's Mikash could be up into P2. You never know.
The two new drivers, the reserve drivers, are definitely putting a good impression in, so well done to them today. That is Laluk missing out on 2 positions, I believe, unfortunately for him. Down to P13. The top drivers, though, they are getting towards the final stages of the Grand Prix. Robbo right now, he's just got to try and focus on winning this race. Dave Raptors, he's just got to try and focus on staying on the circuit, and he should be fine as long as he's got the DRS of his teammate. Mikash, he should be fine as well, but because the DRS kind of cancels out for him, then that does leave him vulnerable to P4 if P4 has got enough energy to use. At the end of the Grand Prix, though, that is Robbo leading the way as we start lap 8 out of 10. Just a couple more to go. Will Mikash go for the move a little bit earlier? No, he's still going to wait behind.
As we see Peanuts into turn 1, he's got the soft tyres, he's got the better straight line speed into turn 1. That's him up into P5, and from what was looking like a disastrous race, I said look out for the soft runners. Peanuts 1.1 behind the top 4 here, and by the end of this lap, he should be within DRS range, and it looks as though he's got good enough battery to maybe have an assault on these front 4.
It is going to be very, very straightforward, I think, because everybody in front are kind of, in the corners, are trouble to each other. So that just makes it very difficult for them to be able to pull away. Of course, in the straights, they're absolutely mega. They're just a complete unit. But other than that, it's very difficult to actually improve. And, of course, if they are too fast in the DRS train, then it does prevent anybody from really gaining too much at all. Devon Young is looking pretty quick right now, right behind the Ferrari. Will he be able to make progress and try and catch up to the Williams of Grosjean? This is for the final point here JJ is fighting for, so he does want to try and hold on to this for Ferrari, but I'm not sure how possible it's going to be.
Yeah, JJ really needs to get into the DRS of Grosjean here, who also has a time penalty. Oh, and speaking of, JJ has picked up a 3 seconds, which will be applied at the end of the race, and it looks as though Devon is going to apply an overtake on JJ in just a moment's time. Coming out the last corner, those softs maybe are overheating a bit as he loses the back end. Coming onto the straight now, JJ doesn't look like he's putting up too much of a fight. As you see the two McLarens also switching up, with Mikash making contact with Robbo, and I'm sure JJ's had that move pulled off on him. As we see Devon Young also making contact with Jack Lever coming into turn 2. And he's just about done it, I think. He's going to get ahead, squeeze him off track, just keeping him on maybe. And coming into turn 4, there's even more contact. I think these guys might have an instance, and if they're not careful. Coming into turn 4, he's been pushed a bit wide there. I don't think he's too happy with Devon's antics. He loses the back end. He must be frustrated with that. He's lost the position. And that's a championship point gone. Even with that penalty, I'm sure it wouldn't have made a difference.
Well, it's pretty tragic for him, but it's not over as he's sending it back to the inside. Devon's got the grip, he's got the advantage, and that is probably going to be that decided. There's surely going to be no coming back from this one. Now, Peanuts is in the train. We've also got Oggio now in the train. That was the Aston Martin making a mistake, all of a sudden getting back up, and they've managed to drag the rest of the cars behind them with them to be in the battle for P1. We are about to start the final lap of the Grand Prix. Robbo overtook Dave Raptors just previously. Is he now going to be re-overtaken by his teammate when it matters most? He's using the energy. He is going to go for the lead of the Grand Prix. Will Mikash try and get involved? He will. He's going to go for the double overtake. No, he backs off just temporarily, looking for it. Can he hold on? I don't think he can. We're all over the place with the camera angles. That is the off moment there for Mikash. He's going to lose out to Buchan. He might lose out to Oggio. He will lose out to Oggio. Will the Alpine also get through? They're on the outside line. I think they're going to have to back off for that one. They will not be able to find a way through. They really want to do their best on this soft tyre, but I think it's time that those red wall tyres have run out. That is going to be it over for him, I reckon. Oggio, once again, making some late moves to try and get himself onto the podium. Will it work like he did last time around in Japan? I don't quite know. The top two have run away. They're not going to be contested. They might fight each other for the final spot, but it's really about who's going to get P3. And he's looking quick. He's already going for the move on the outside, putting the pressure on. Now to the inside, right behind. He stays behind for now. He's not got any energy. Neither is the Aston Martin. I think this is going to be how it will go. Robbo gets a time penalty. Dave Raptors will win this race after all. Here we go. Oggio, can he get him up to the line? line. I don't know. DRS available. No ERS. It's going to be a tight one, but I think it will stay as it is. That is going to be Dave Raptors winning in Qatar for the sprint race. That will be Becken for P2. Oggio, Mikash, Robbo, Peanuts, Devon Young, Grajak, Jack Lever, Tom Brainer, JJ, Ruben, Monk, and then we will have Max crossing the line very, very shortly. And yeah, that was a hell of a race. I want to apologise for all the issues we've had and for all of the issues with the camera angles. It's a very different setup and we're trying to get used to it, and I really do apologise. That's all I can do. I'm so sorry for the mess today. But what I can say is well done and congratulations there to Dave Raptors for the sprint race victory. What a heartbreaking moment there for Robbo. We'll go through the results. That is Dave Raptors taking the win. Becken in P2. Oggio, Mikash, Robbo, Peanuts, Devon Young and Mr. Grajak. Jack Lever right there. And then finishing the top 10 is Tom Brainer, JJ, Ruben, Monk, Max, Gunter, IGTC, Larlock, Gibby, Ballin and Yaramir. Race director just in case if we need it later on. And then of course we want to try and get to the instance if we can as well, just in case. And then we will go to the pit stops. And we will be back in a little while as we're going to restart the lobby, ready for the main race. Ready? Hold. Go! Who's going to get it into turn one? We are finally away. There you go. Just about. That was an absolute mess, but here we go into turn one. That is Becken getting an absolutely epic start. He takes the lead of the Grand Prix already. Perfect job. Can he make it a bit better up the order this time around? Maybe look for the race win already. It's only lap one, Aaron. What are you talking about? Just leave it for the minute. That is a pretty clean start from most of the drivers. I don't know if somebody's had an issue, but that is how it's gone. That is unfortunately the Williams off the circuit momentarily. They lose more and more and more positions. That's probably going to be Ruben and Grosjean both having no setup as they left the lobby off the circuit yet again. Gunther already getting a 3-second time penalty somehow. I don't really understand how that's happened, but it's happened. There's a big gap between Ogio and Mikash there. I don't know what's happened.
Yeah, Robo and Olgi were having such a big scrap coming through turn 1 to 3, 4 and all the other corners as he makes a mistake coming out of the little left-hander coming into the fast section now. He's got an AlphaTauri of Devin Young flying up his inside in what looked like a P4 is dropped down to P6 in a matter of a few corners time, maybe struggling on the hard tyres initially. And you see Robo already 1.3 seconds down due to all the battling, but Olgio, it just looks like he's not got any grip. Icy cold tyres perhaps? I'm not sure what's going on there, but it looks as though he is struggling as we see some people into the pit lane, perhaps with damage.
Early on damage with a little bit of a kerfuffle. That is a retirement from the lobby already for two different drivers. I believe Grosjean's retired because he's got that penalty. I'm not entirely sure what's happened to IGTC there, but that is a massive, massive unfortunate moment for the likes of Gilly and Twan, who haven't had the opportunity to be in the lobby. So two voluntary retirements have just kind of been in kind of a bit of a bad situation. Never mind. Anyway, it's what happens and the race is over.
For them, yeah, but the race is definitely on for Jack Lever, who's just made up a few positions.
No, I mean the race is over on my screen.
Oh, yeah, no, it's over now. What the flip? What's going on?
I'm just saying, okay, well done, Becky.
And Becken's won the race, everyone.
Right, okay, so it looks like we're going to go for another restart. Sorry, everyone, we'll be back. Hello everyone, we're back. Apparently the race didn't end, it was just for us. We get a move for the lead on lap 4 out of 29. That is Dave Raptors taking the racing line, and Becken is going to sit behind. He's not going to fight that, but there is contact, and that is Dave Raptors down the order. I don't believe what's happened. He doesn't believe what's happened. He's stationary on the circuit. He finally gets moving. I don't understand what's happened here, but he's waiting to rejoin as there's quite a few cars on their way, so he got to be fairly safe, but instead he's just gone straight onto the racing line. I'm not entirely sure what is happening.
I think he was paused. He made a bit of contact, then he tried to pause to reset his track and it didn't work. Well, thankfully for him it didn't, because otherwise he would have got a 10-second penalty. A bit of issue for Dave Raptor, the championship leader, mind you. I'm sure Monk is a Monk in second place in the championship. I'm not too sure, don't hold me accountable, but I'm sure he is. And Dave Raptor's down in P15 with hot tyres. Monk might have a chance to close up on his rival. Let's wait and see.
It's very, very possible. Lots of cars very close together. We're going the wrong way on the cameras. We've got the two Haas's. Oh, unfortunately, only one Haas now. That is Tom Brainerd going over the curb and almost losing the car. Lots of rear losses. I don't know what's happened, but he's driving on absolute ice at the moment. And he's going to lose the position to Gunter as well. We've got Ogyo right behind Jack Lever, who's on the medium tyre, but he can't compete with a set of medium tyres in a straight line. It's never going to work. Unfortunately for him, that is the situation sorted for now. The top four are all on their own at the moment. That was top five with Dave Raptors, but he's had to drop so far back. Unfortunately, it's not looking too good.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of confusion at the moment regarding the lobby. I'm not too sure. There's people leaving, and I've just been messaged by JJ about it, but I think we're fine for the moment. This race has been anything but normal, which is usually a good thing, but when it comes to the F1 game breaking, then we all know how bad that can go. Oh no! Who's that? It's Ruben. He's voluntarily retired, so... Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. It's all a mess in the moment, but we just got to persevere with it for now.
We're going to go a couple more laps in. Just take it for now. I think we would probably have to restart from the grid. That's if we are going to restart. We just need to try and get a bit more confirmation, but only from two drivers at the moment. So it's not exactly too easy to make a decision. That is a move for the lead there. We've got Mikaj going for a move on Becken. And he's going to try his best to get the job done down the straight. Not exactly easy, and you're going to have to wait for the energy, and the energy is going to be absolutely blasted. The McLaren wants to get involved, but they can't. They're going to have to sit back for now, and that is going to be the position gained eventually by Mikash. And he will hold on. Will he be able to break away, though? That is the question.
His pace in qualifying suggested that he was quite a bit faster than everyone else. What was it, about 2-3 tenths? He was flying on that lap, and it looks as though at the moment he's able to carry that into the race. The gap's already around about 5 tenths to Becken, who's under pressure from Robble behind. Robble, no stranger for going for optimistic moves, and he usually makes it work. So it should be fine, although he has got the teammate of Mikash, which is Devin Young. Hopefully, for Mikash's sake, he can interact with these two and perhaps maybe hold them up, like the McLarens were doing in the sprint race.
Unfortunately, we will have to restart. It's just not worth the risk. I do apologise. We will be going from qualifying once again. We will see you in a bit. I really do apologise for this, guys. Ready, hold, go! Who's gonna get it into turn one? We are once again away. Finally, there you go. And that is the safety car. Okay, well, we're just gonna carry on. No restarts after that one. We're just gonna carry on. So we are gonna continue. And everyone will overtake the safety car. Hopefully they don't overtake the safety car off the circuit, and then that will be that done. Unfortunately, this is just going to be how it is right now. Jack Lever's on the soft tyres. This might be an opportunity for him to make a pit stop. Whether that be good or bad, I do not know. But Zingy, what would you do if you're in the situation strategy-wise?
Well, if I'm on the hards or mediums, I'm staying out on the softs. I mean, I haven't done a lap of racing yet. Maybe if I had a set of extra softs, I would put onto that. Maybe not immediately after, because I know I'm going to go to last anyway, but maybe a lap after the safety cars came out. So like the lap just before it's coming in. So I can have the freshest tyres out of everyone in the field and just fly.
So you would go for the pit stop and you would attempt to go to the end? Or wait, did you just say you were going on to the mediums or the hards?
No, I'm saying if I'm Jack, I will go on to another set of softs as late as I can on the safety car. If I'm wanting to pull off the soft strategy, and then go on to, well, I don't know, because I don't know how far softs go. I've never really tried them around this track. Presuming he's going to go probably at hards, but if he can do mediums, then that's exceptional from him. And if he can gain a lot of time from it, and track position, as you see the DRS has been overpowered here in both game and real life, then he could put himself in a nice little position to get some good points.
Indeed, he could. Alright, anyone going to go into the pit lane? Nobody should have any damage because we did not have any racing whatsoever. No one is going into the pit lane, not even as we were discussing. There is some interesting position shuffling. Hopefully that's going to be that. Interesting defending going on as well. All of it strange. There's a 5-second time penalty for Devon Young, as he's now going to maybe have damage from that. I'm not entirely sure.
Dear. There's contact in the safety car. That's not ideal. Let's see if he's got any damage. On the right hand side it looks fine. On the left it looks fine. I think he just got in the penalty, yeah. 5 seconds. He can serve that during his pit stop, which of course isn't ideal. But now, if I was in Devon's situation, you would definitely put onto the mediums and get that penalty served, would you not?
Yeah, I would do. That being said, you will be going in this lap, so you will still lose a bit of time. At least you will lose less time if you do go in. But I'm not entirely sure if you can get away with overtaking the traffic in this game or not. I've not really tried it myself. I think you do have to wait for the safety car to go by, otherwise you get yourself disqualified. So he's got to be careful how he does this. But like you say, Zingy, I think this is probably going to be the best bet. That being said, there's probably going to be another safety car. So they might actually want to stay out as they're on this hard tyre trying to go for the long game.
Well, I mean, we've seen how chaotic it could be. There's a lot of instances in the first attempt of this race, and we've seen that it can go very hairy, especially around turn 4, which we've seen a lot of instances before. There was some contact there in F1, F1.5, and I'm sure, last season, there was also a bit of contact around that corner. So it's turn 4 is a dangerous one because you think you can go for the move and then the corner just kind of closes in on itself. So some people might misinterpret that, especially if they've driven here only for a little bit. As we see Devon going into the pits. No, who's going into the pits? Is no one?
That's an Alfa Romeo.
Yarmer's in the lane. Lap 2, he must be listening to the stream. Nah, he's probably just being smart about it. He's going to put onto a new set of medium tyres. Have a couple percentage better tyres. They look new. Yep, they look new. As he's not going? Nope. Okay, a bit of lag. But yes, he is out. Of course, with new tyres, he should be doing the one stop from here. And he can hopefully use this extra better percentage to his advantage. Only losing one position as well. So would you say that's worth it? Like 4% for one position?
No. But he can now forget about the alternative tyre compound rule. So he can go for a double medium tyre strategy now. So that isn't the worst idea. It could work, it could go horribly wrong. Track position wise around this circuit, probably want track position, to be honest. Unfortunately, that is his decision made, though, obviously making that pit stop. We should be going for the restart by the time we get to the sector line. We will get that confirmation, hopefully. Last time, we didn't actually get the confirmation, which was interesting, but it is what it is. We will now get to the sector line, and this should be it. Come on.
No? Hurry.
There you go. Alright, safety car will be in this lap, and we will be going racing once again. Dave Raptors leads the way, and Becken will be in P2. We are in the same order as we were, except from a couple cars changing up, maybe pit stop wise. Whatever happens, we are now finally going racing for the main race in Qatar. I cannot wait. It's going to be a good one. The safety car is going into the pit lane now, and Dave Raptors is the one to react. His teammates in P5, they're going to be communicating. When will he go for it? He's going as slow as he can at the moment. Is he going to gun it before the corner? I think he's already gone for it, no?
No. He's holding the brakes out.
Still holding on. Not going for it yet. Yet. Come on, has he almost gone for it? No. Still waiting. And 3, 2, 1. There you go. Come on. 3, 2, 1. There you go. He's done it. He's done it. He's done it. He's gone for the restart. That is the Qatar Grand Prix once again underway. The Red Bull's right behind, but he's got pressure from the AlphaTauri. That's going to be Robert having to back off as Mikash is trying to have a look to the inside line. Can he actually get there, though? He's now to the outside line. He could swoop through, and I think he's going to get it countless times. We've seen overtakes like that this weekend, and we also have the McLaren trying to come at the Red Bull as well. Can he get the job done? No. He's going to have to back off. You're never going to get the move done on the outside there, but a switchback might be available, and he's got the job done there. And now Devon Young's involved already. I do not believe it. How has he got up the order that quickly? That is a Ferrari off. Unfortunately, that's IGTC down the order. Lots of things going on. It's very hard to see with the zoomed in camera angles, but it's what we're given. Becken to P3.
Yeah, it looks as though Devon's made advantage of that restart, moving from P7 up to P5 already, and already on the back of Robbo, it looks as though he's going to be pressuring him from a move very soon. It looks as though he's fired up those tyres nicely. Remember, the hards do have a warm-up cycling phase, so maybe some people have got that better than others. Like Alkio, he could have been struggling there. To be someone that's not struggling is Devon Young. Is he going to go for a move into the last corner? He's definitely looking for it, pressurising Robbo, but he doesn't flinch at the moment. He's got that slipstream on the Aston Martin of Becken, and they're both using battery, but that, you can see how powerful that slipstream is. Even without using battery, he's able to just close up. He's going to use a bit now into turn 1. Is he going to use the outside line to swoop around? It looks as though he's done it for now. He just gets the traction down nicely. He's got the inside for turn 2, and it looks as though he's done the move, and Robbo back up into AP3, or is he?
He wants to have another look at coming back. He goes defensive, does the McLaren. He's going to try and stick his nose in momentarily. He realises it's never really going to hold out, so he will back off for now. Live to fight another day. They really need to focus on Dave Raptors, all of them collectively, because he was in a dangerous position there to break away. Mikash has been able to close the gap up, so he's managed to do a very good job in that regard. But that was way too close for all of these drivers. So close. Almost ended everything. We've got a long old train going on up till the Haas driver of Tom Brainer. Then JJ leads the second train. And he's got a lot of pressure behind him. He's on that medium tyre. In the lead train is Tom Brainer on the medium tyre. And then the Jack Lever on the softs. Other than that, everybody's on the pretty much standard strategy, more or less.
Yeah, we've seen, you were talking about Mikash, just about closing that gap back up. Is it enabled this lap? No, it'll be next lap, I'm sure DRS is. It looks as though Dave Raptors lost a bit of time there, although his battery does look a bit better in that sense, so maybe Mikash having to just press that button a bit more, maybe feeling a bit unsafe as we see Robbo setting the fastest lap at the moment, so he's also found some pace in that McLaren, as we see the gap's now 2 tenths, as DRS will be enabled from next lap onwards. And yeah, at the moment, they're just going to try and tuck in. Dave looks like he's got being a bit squiggly on the rear tyres, so maybe some overheating issues already. You need to go quite high on the pressures to make them last. So has Dave went a bit too high, or is it maybe a balancing issue?
He's had issues in the past with the balance, as of course in Spain he was losing the car all over the place at the beginning. Still managed to come out on top on that race, but it wasn't looking ideal. So it is something that maybe he needs to get on top of, running quite an aggressive setup, which is very easy to lose. But as long as you are able to catch it, you seem to be pretty quick with it. That's at least what his situation is at the moment. Mika sitting right behind, relaxing a little bit. Energy-wise, both drivers seem to be pretty good. Behind, it's just kind of slowly depleting. Then we get to Devon Young, who's got a decent amount, but he's got to be careful because right now, Becken might cause both of these guys to lose out to a DRS train. And as we were saying earlier on, it can be a very dangerous position to be in if you lose out to the DRS train around Qatar. So I reckon Devon Young is going to go for the move, but never mind, he's got a bit too greedy and goes off the circuit.
As we see, coming into turn 1, there goes Mikash. He's going to go for the move on Dave Raptors. Volvo just behind. I think he's going to back off for now. As we look into turn 1, Devon Young overtaking Becken. As we also see Oggio having a little sniff up the inside. It looks just return to the outside and he can't make the move done. As who's that spun around? It's Jack Lever, the Haas. He's also got some damage to the car. He must have to watch out for where he's going. So he's fine, but he's got a big chunk of damage there. And I don't know what's happening here. He's struggling to get back on the track, but that's a bit unfortunate. Maybe the soft's giving out in terms of temperature and he just lost it. But yeah, that's what happens with the soft tyres. As we see... Oh no, that's Larlick disconnected. Never mind.
So lap 7, the tyres are definitely going to start heating up regardless of what tyre you're actually on. So that is expected, an unfortunate issue. So you have to really watch out and be prepared for it. And sometimes even if you are prepared for it, you can just never really prepare for it. Yes, prepare. You just can't sometimes. It is what it is. Mikash leads the way. Dave Raptor's sitting in P2 now. The McLarens are in a strong position, but compared to last race, now we have 2 AlphaTauris, and they're in a massive sandwich. Yes, he has a time penalty, but he is kind of there. He's got a bit of a gap that he needs to try and work with, but as long as he can catch up a little bit, he might be able to put the pressure on both McLarens next lap, and maybe look at forcing them into fighting each other.
Perhaps that's the plan. They want them to squabble between one another and get Mikash away from these two, because we know how strong these guys are with coordinating their attacks. One car goes through, they both go through. And I'm sure Mikash has learned from his mistakes previously, so I'm sure it's happened once to him before, if not others. I definitely do recall a time, I think it was a few races ago, that may have had that issue, because these guys are so good at coordinating an attack that there's nothing you can really do. However, with the sandwiching effect that Devon Young's going to be doing on these guys, he's going to force Robo and Dave Raptors to make a move. Is that going to be on each other, or is it going to be on the leader?
Regardless, for Devon Young's sake, he just wants somebody to make a move, because as I was explaining in yesterday's race, if somebody is fighting up in front, you can definitely take some pickings off later on. So that is the thinking behind being further behind. You really have to work hard to put that pressure on. But he's not that close. He's not that close this lap. He's closer, but only by a tenth or two.
Yeah, Devon, he's just creeping up slowly, you know. I think he does well in the first sector and a part of the second, but the third one he really seems to fall away, so... It might sound stupid, but maybe a bit more downforce as we see Robo. Is he going to go for that move on his teammate Dave Raptors? Yes, he is. Dave won't look for the switch back. He's just trying to cover off Devon Young. And now that the McLarens have switched, well, Robo, perhaps feeling like he's got a bit more pace, push for this overtake.
Interesting, because Robbo doesn't have too much energy in that car, whereas Dave Raptors has got so much. Dave Raptors let Robbo go there. He actually let him go, making that move, which is interesting. Maybe he did think he had more pace. That is a send from the AlphaTauri, as there was a bit of a mistake it looked like initially. I don't know if it's just what the contact caused, or if there was a bit of a moment there for Dave Raptors, and then Devon Young tried to take advantage. That was an interesting moment of the Grand Prix, but I think that will probably be as it is. A bit of frustration there from Devon Young, as he made that mistake himself, and he loses the car a little bit, maybe just losing concentration, getting on that throttle a little bit too hard. We got Becken in P5 just slowly losing out a little bit continuously. They've got to be so careful. And look, Monk is actually starting to lose out DRS range now, so the medium tyres look to be dead already.
I mean, that's sort of realistic. After around this time in my race, I noticed that the mediums were about 40%, 50%, like 10 laps on them, and they're demolished. I don't know why that is. Anyway, looking at the front, we see Robbo going for the move on Mikash. He's going to look for the switchback. A loss of traction just a little bit. Robbo has to stay to the inside. Will he be compromised on exit? It looks as though he's maintained the speed coming out of turn 3 and into turn 4. Mikash is going to have to just stay behind for now. But now, the AlphaTauris are sandwiching the McLarens and vice versa. So, it could get a bit more scruffy come this part of the race. It's pit stop time nearly, and about 5-6 laps. So, maintaining track position is what's going to be important, and who's going to go long, who's going to go short, we don't know. However, we know for a fact that it's going to get a bit messy, I think, up in the front, especially with the strategy.
It for sure will. We will find out very, very shortly in just a few laps, and this is probably going to be one of the most exciting parts of the race. Yes, it's usually very, very interesting, but around a circuit like this, strategy is so important, it just can't be ignored. And I'll tell you what, somebody that does need strategy is Becken, because he had pace. He had pace. We know he had pace, but he's just not liking these hard tyres. For his sake, he wants to get onto a medium set, because he seemed to be absolutely rapid in the sprint race. He just needs to try and find a rhythm. Peanuts, he's in P7. He had pace as well, but he just wasn't in a position to go for the lead in, of course, the sprint race as well.
Robbo Mikash going at it once again for the lead of the Grand Prix. Will Mikash get ahead of Robbo this time? No, he slams the door shut nicely there. And now will he be susceptible to the Wave Raptors, or will Mikash try and go for a counter move on Robbo, making him go defensive into 4? It looks as though Robbo has pulled the car up nicely for that, and he's got a good exit off of 5 as he gets a 3 seconds. I knew that Robbo went off there, but I didn't think he'd already have that 2 warnings, and now that is now a 3 seconds. Devon Young also pressurising Dave for a move. But that is so crucial. It's only lap 10 and he's already got a penalty.
So each team have a time penalty to their name. That is Devon Young pushing Dave Raptors through the corner as he's trying to go as fast as he possibly could. I was thinking that maybe Robbo would defend so hard that Dave Raptors would be able to get through, and that would have been a McLaren 1-2 there, which would have been a pretty difficult wall to try and penetrate, although it would give the advantage to the AlphaTauris regarding manipulation. As we were talking earlier on, you would be able to force the 2 cars in front to fight if you were able to get close enough on raw pace. Now, Robbo leads the way yet again. Mikash sits in P2. Can they go for the lead? Will they even want to go for the lead? And will Dave Raptors try and fight back if they do? I don't think they will. That is a retirement, and that is Larlitt retiring on the circuit after that one. For the lead, he's just going to make him go defensive, maybe look for the switchback. I don't know if he's attempting a switchback or if he's just trying to prevent the car in front from breaking away too much.
I don't think Mikash cares too much. He sees that Robbo's got a penalty and he's just kind of cruising along. He's got much more battery at him as well. You can see visibly on the dashboard that Robbo has been using so much to get to this point. But is it going to be worth it if he doesn't even get his teammate up into second place? And you may think that it's his responsibility, not his teammates, but a bit of help can go a long way, especially in a DRS train. As we've seen previously, it sucks being in the DRS train, especially when you're that third car. It's so difficult to break the deadlock, and at this point in time, it looks as though it's staying the way of Mikash and Robbo switching for P1.
Nice pun there. Sucks to be in the slipstream train. Lovely, 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 lovely. Alrighty, that is lap 12 on its way to completion out of 29. We've still got a long way to go. That is one retirement of the race. A couple drivers have had their issues, but we still have a lot of things to look forward to. A 5-second time penalty for Devon Young. That's not something that we or he looks forward to, but it is something that's going to throw a spanner in the works and make everything very, very interesting. We've got Oggio, who's right there. He's in the battle and very, very close. The top 2 are switching up again.
Yeah, Mikash going around the outside, but yet again, can't seem to find his way through. Perhaps, is he dropping off a bit? You can see at the final corner it's about 4 tenths back. And is he just trying to get enough speed so we can brake late and conserve that ERS for later on? Obviously, the more force you put into the brakes for a longer distance of time, the more battery you're going to recharge over the distance of a race. So, is that the case with Mikash here? Because he doesn't seem too desperate to go for a move. He's just trying to conserve his tyres, ERS, and maybe fuel. Because fuel this track is vital. You go full throttle for at least 50% of it. And the amount of fuel you do burn is up to 3.5 laps.
So you mentioned that. I reckon that Mikash might be sitting in P2 now on purpose so they can lift. So they force Robbo to go defensive, then just kind of lift off the throttle. Don't even attempt to move anyway. Devon Young was figuring that out yesterday. I think Mikash was also watching the race. Dave Raptors wasn't in that race, but Robbo was. So Robbo has a bit of an understanding of it, but I think he was more focused on the tyre situation rather than the fuel. So it's an interesting one. I think the AlphaTauris might have a strategical advantage here. And we also have an AlphaTauri looking very, very racy at the moment. Are they going to go for the move? I think they will. Have a look to the inside. That is a move for the lead. And will the McLaren now have a chance to get through? Or are they just going to have to wait behind? They look for a little send, but they're not going to quite get it on the traction. Maybe to the inside. They're not pushing for the energy again. They're just waiting behind.
It's just a long waiting game. Being very patient, waiting for someone to perhaps make a mistake, or just waiting for that opportunity to open up, perhaps into the hairpin. No, not at the moment, as Devon Young has to take some evasive action on Dave Raptors, as he does like a little bit of a lock-up there, and that's allowed Okio into the game. He was struggling a bit earlier on. We do know this with Okio. He does struggle in the first few laps, maybe with tyre temperatures more than anything. But now that he's settled into a rhythm, he's brought him and Becken along with Peanuts along. We've seen that Peanuts and Becken had some good pace in the sprint race on the medium tyre, and come the next in, that's the compound they're going to be on. So could we see a switch up for the podium positions eventually come the end of the race?
It's very, very possible. I was going to say the top four, they're not in a comfort zone, but they are trying to trick a few people into going into the pit lane. They're not in the comfort zone, but they obviously have their teammates to help them out pretty close by. The other guys, they're just going for full attack. Ogio, Becken and Peanuts. So they're looking to try and make those moves. We've got Mikash finally making that move. The McLarens are not going to fight this time around. They're just going to let it happen. They couldn't really do anything other than that, because otherwise they would have lost out big time. That's JJ retiring, I believe, in the pit lane, and that is a second retirement of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean, look how close it is between these top six. You could put a blanket all over them. The top seven, sorry, I forgot there. I mean, look at it. What's the gap to the leader from Peanuts? 1.7 separates the top 7, sorry. That's incredible. These guys have been battling the top 4 at least, I should say, for the latter part of the race. And, I mean, these guys have been invited in, so have they perhaps made a mistake? Battling too much, or am I thinking too much of it?
I don't think so. I don't think they've made a mistake necessarily, because they're still up the front, but they just have to make sure that they get the strategy right. That is going to be the question, because the more people that are in a train, the more complicated the strategy gets. So I think whoever gets the undercut is going to have a nice advantage immediately, and that is going to be the first McLaren of Robbo. But whoever gets the overcut later on, they're just going to have such an advantage. Robbo is going to get a decent, a very, very, very nice jump here. Very nice. That is the best timing you could ever have.
And they can't even jump the safety car, so Robbo is going to take the lead of the Grand Prix. Because all these guys are going to have to pit. Robbo is going to catch up to that pack. Yeah, it'll be like 2% more tyre, but let's be realistic here, that's not going to do much. So Robbo unintentionally pulled off a master stroke. I'm sure that's going to do wonders for not only himself, but his ego. So I'm sure he'll be loving life at the moment. And would you place a bet against Robbo to not win this race? Or because he's got a really good chance now.
So, looking at the situation at the moment, everybody's going to have to pit anyway, so he would have probably only gained one position. I think he was in P2, right, anyway, before?
Yeah.
And he will have one lap less fresher tyres. So, initially, it looks like the better idea. But, because there's a couple of other people that haven't made pit stops, it might not help. I'd say that maybe Tom Brainer, maybe Max can get involved because they've made those recent pit stops. If the time delta goes away, now the other cars in front of them have bunched up, they could gain. So yes, there's going to be a couple of cars in the way. Other than that, the top 6 are going to stay pretty much as they were, but just maybe a few positions down. I'm not entirely sure if I'd say that it guarantees Robbo the win yet, though. We have to see what everybody's going to do when they come out of the pit lane.
Well, I've got a bit of complication for you. Mikash and Devin Young, they do what? Like, what are they going to do? Mikash, first car on track, doesn't have a time penalty. Of course he's going to come in. Devin Young, will he come in this lap or next lap? I don't know. What would be better for him? Getting stacked up behind and then having to wait for the penalty? Or
Yes.
You don't know in this situation.
I think you have to pit, unfortunately. It's the most heartbreaking moment, but you do. He's got to make sure that he doesn't slow the rest of the grid down too much. You are allowed to overtake if you do that. So he is going to go for the move. Oggio got it done, and the Alpine is just about. That's absolutely perfect. I've never, ever seen that done quite so well. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, Devon Young, little bit of karma there, they say to him. What a shame on his side, but that is an absolutely incredible move. Oggio, you have to say well done to him, but Peanuts just kind of took the show there. That was absolutely incredible. Timed it to perfection.
I've never thought someone would have the guts to do that. You know, you've seen Vettel do it in real life across the grass. I've seen Noggio do it, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And I just see this Alpine fly up the inside, and he got the car stopped. Now it would have still been impressive even if he got a penalty. But we see so many times that people just can't stop the car. That's not Peanuts for you. He just sends it up the inside and gets the position.
Absolutely perfect. I don't know if you already made the pun, Zingy, but had the guts, he's got the nuts as well, it seems. Yeah, he's done a very good job there. That is Devon Young going into the pit lane, serving his time penalty, and immediately getting a 3-second whilst being under the safety car conditions. So I don't know what has happened there, but that is a massive problem. He's only ended up regaining 2 seconds basically, because he's got that 3 seconds again. Looking a little bit further down the order, Mikash, who was at the top, he's now in P7, as I've actually probably misjudged this a little bit more than I thought. We've got Tom Brain on 2-lap-old hard tyres, Max Gibby, Jaromir and Ballant all in between. Max could be quick off the line, but I think Robbo is just going to have such an advantage. I don't know what's going to happen here, and I think actually maybe I've changed my mind. That being said, time penalties will all come into play. We're already going to go for the restart of the Qatar Grand Prix once again. Lap 17 out of 29, and so far so good bug-wise. When will Robbo go for it? Will we finally get somebody going for that early restart as we used to see so many times? I don't think we will, because the McLaren seem to show the similar mindset and go for those late restarts. Robbo, when will he go for the dart? When will he go? After the DRS line maybe, still warming up the front tyres to slow the rest of the pack down without getting a penalty. And there he will finally go. There you go. Straightens up the car and puts the throttle down. Not a bad reaction at all from Tom Brainer. The rest of the cars are all very much bunched up. There's some overtakes. There's some 3 wide moments further down the field. That's an Alfa Romeo. Jaromir comes out in front. The McLaren in the middle. Ballant being absolutely swamped. Oggio in this as well. Mikash can't seem to make any progress. They've lost positions.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Mikash there. He's lost a lot of time and possessions as we see Peanut go back up the inside of Ballant into turn 4. I said there's an overtaking opportunity, and also the hairpin. Here comes Oggio on Jaromir up into P6, but no, he gets the traction on exit of the outside line, and that's fantastic from Jaromir. Great defense. Oggio trying to look for the switchback, but nothing doing for him so far. As Jaromir does pick up a penalty, but even still, that was some great defence from him. He goes a bit wide, that might allow Oggio to get the move back on the Alfa Romeo, but coming into this third sector, the only real overtaking spot is the last corner, and I doubt he'll be able to do it from that far away.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. Devon Young, unfortunately, spinning off in the background on the camera, so I think he must have been involved in some sort of incident. His day has gone bad to worse. Oggio loses a bit in the fast section of the corners, and he's not able to close up too much, unfortunately. So Jaromir doing a very good job and making the most of this strategy. That is Max going for the move on Tom Brainer, as he definitely needs to get this done sooner rather than later. I assume he's going to try and go to the end, so he needs to be in clean air. I say clean air, he does have Robbo just in front of him, but he's got to work together with the McLaren, because all the odds are against him. As long as he plays his cards right, he could still get a good result.
I just want to say, I don't know if you were just mentioning it there, but Max, P2, yes, I know he's on the soft tyres, and yes, I know. Oh no, hold on a minute. Dave Raptors and Gibby are going to go side by side, coming into the long right-hander here. There's a bit of contact, there's contact again. Dave Raptors goes off early, and Jaromir, of course he's there to take the position, swoops in like an eagle, and secures that P5 once again. He's making moves in this Grand Prix. For an old man, he's not doing too bad, and he's up into P5 once again. Lovely,
lovely jubbly indeed. The old-fashioned way. Robbo leads the way. There's a switch up. Peanuts is down the order. Unfortunately, that is going to be them losing a lot of ground, and they're back with Devon Young, who is making that move, but they are now together at least. To the inside on the last corner is the Aston Martin. Becken holds on just about, as he lost a few positions right there. He's trying to make more progress. It's a big, big old train. Jaromir's going to have a lot of pressure. Can he hold on? It's not Jaromir. It's actually Ballant who's going to have a lot of pressure, but nobody decided to go for the move in the end.
Maybe just waiting for that DRS to be activated on this lap to maybe try and get that extra boost of straight line speed. And Max isn't making the inroads I'd assume he would do on Robbo. It was around about 9/10s, but it looks as though he's maybe made a mistake. And I don't believe those soft tyres would have died off that early, so maybe just struggling a bit with the tyres. I mean, now that I think about it, overheating on those soft tyres is absolutely ridiculous. So maybe struggling with that, but he's still doing quite well in P2. He's got Tom Robb as a rear gunner, holding up the formidable Dave Raptors, who's made some contact with him actually. He's so quick, and Tom Robb on those hard tyres, he's really struggling coming into the fast right-hand complex. Now he's not going to go for the move here. He's going to stay behind and look for the move on the Haas driver, potentially on the straight with the DRS advantage.
Yep, that should be pretty straightforward, unless he's going to try and plan it so he gets the move done before the DRS, or just after the DRS detection line, but no, still sits behind, and then that should be a pretty straightforward move. Lots of switching up going on in the background, and that was, I can't even remember who was switching up, but people were making overtakes, that's for sure. Dave Raptors up to P3, Oggio's going to come through as well and take that position. That's Jaromir in P7 now, as Gibby is trying their best to fight their way around the outside, now to the inside. That should be the position gained. I don't think Jaromir's going to be able to come back.
No, Jaromir, initially after doing so well, he's struggling. As we see, he's at Ballant making a bit of a mistake, losing the place to Jack Lever and Monk. Monk not having a good Grand Prix by his standards. He should be up there fighting for some good point positions, but only fighting for 10th at the moment. Jack Lever, although he has that penalty, he's going to be trying to hold on for it for now. And those hard tyres shouldn't be at an advantage at the moment. However, come lap 24-25, I want to say that the tides might switch.
Phenomenal move there for Devon Young, trying to make the progress. P12 out the points at the moment with a time penalty, but he's not given up. He's still in this race. Lap 21 out of 29. Not going to be easy. Other people are definitely going to have chances to get over penalties in this race. The Williams is so close. He really wants to have a go at a move. He has to wait for the minute, and he might be able to fight a little bit later on. But more importantly, at the front, that is Robbo, 2 seconds, almost 3 seconds away now. Dave Raptors recognises that, and he realises he needs to go for the move now if he wants to try and stay with his teammate, at least within the time penalty range. 2.3 seconds is the gap. He gained a lot on DRS, but he does still need to keep the pace and try and improve. Monk loses positions.
Yeah, Monk losing another position to Devin Young, but where the hell has Devin Young come from? Sorry about that, I don't know where he's come from. He's not up at the P10 and only 3 seconds off Beckon from the lead. How far is he off? Only 11 seconds. I thought it'd be much more after that initial spin. But it looks as though he's one of the fastest, if not the fastest, on track at the moment.
Absolutely incredible. He seems to have a little bit of anger that has made him go a little bit quicker. That is always a good thing. Not really if you're angry, but if you're going quicker because you're angry, then if no matter what scenario or state of mind you'll be in, you're just going to be quick. So that's perfect from him. We have Robbo and Dave Raptors now leading the way, and Dave Raptors is on an absolute mission. Look at the pace in that car. That's absolutely incredible. Robbo saving a little bit more at the moment, and he's not that far away, Dave Raptors, so he's pushing to try and keep with his teammate, which is exactly what Robbo doesn't want.
Yeah, Robbo wants to pull away from his teammate, get that win and close the gap on the championship a little bit. But I'm sure either way these guys won't mind. A 1-2 for them is absolutely exceptional as we see Monk making a mistake. And also here comes Okio, although with a 3 second, he's going to fly around the outside of Max coming into turn 1. Although he's running out of battery, if you can see with the flashing light, he's up into the podium places. Can he pull 3 seconds on Max? I'm not sure. Those tyres are starting to go off as you see Tom making a bit of a mistake. But he is fighting at the moment with multiple 3 second 10 penalties now. Max is one of the few people who doesn't have penalties, so come the end of the race, Dave Raptors will battle too much, and Okio can't pull away perhaps. Max is on for a podium here.
It is very, very possible. I'm gonna be honest, I think those tyres are gonna die off pretty quickly, and I think Dave Raptors is probably gonna play it somewhat safe until we get to the final few laps. Why would he try and screw his teammate over if they can just score extra points and he can still get the position over his teammate on time penalties? Maybe they've had a conversation and they're saying, nope, my time penalty is not legitimate, and they would fight, but I really don't see why they would fight until the last 2-3 laps, basically. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Robbo, Dave Raptors will continue. I think they're going to break away, so they're probably not going to get affected. And then Ogio currently doing his best to look at the podium. If he can keep that soft tyre runner in the DRS for a little bit longer, he can have a bit of a buffer in between, and then once Max's tyres do properly drop off, he might have a bit of a gap to break away and maybe secure that podium as well.
Is it the fact that you want to keep him in DRS and then pull away because he is on the medium tyre? Tom is on the hard. The hard should be coming into its element any moment now. From now, lap 26, I'd say, should be the crossover point. So, Max needs to keep somehow in the DRS. I'm not doubting Max's ability, good driver, but I'm doubting the ability of the soft tyres at this moment in time. Although he is keeping it on track, and he is doing very well to maintain the grip through the corners and the speed. He's only just about to drop out of DRS, but it looks as though he's got a lot more battery to use, and that might be saving grace at the moment.
It for sure will be. Lap 24 to 29. It's not long left of this Grand Prix. Many of the drivers still going strong. It's been a long old day, I will say that for sure. And the top two, they are running away with it now. Definitely. 2.6 seconds is the gap. That is a yellow. That is once again Monk having more issues, unfortunately. But that is just going to be how it goes. He's going to be up the points. Devon Young is the first one in the points. But right now, as it stands, he would lose out because Peanuts is right behind him within DRS range without a penalty. 3.1 seconds is the gap. And Devon Young is going to have to go absolutely rapid if he wants to try and make any more positions and look at any more points.
I just say Max done something very smart there. I am monitoring him at all times because I want to see where the tyres do drop off. He did gain 5/10 in the DRS, but every lap his battery is just going a tiny bit lower, a tiny bit lower. By the end of the next lap, he's going to have nothing left. Then what does he do? You know, he's going to be in a really bad situation with no battery? Do you save and just, you know, try and maybe keep behind Tom Rob, who has good but not as good pace as Oggio? Or do you do his strategy and just push? I'm not too sure of the situation.
For the sake of entertainment, push. Push, 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 push to the end. Right, Devon Young, he's pushing to the end. He's trying his best. He is almost got to Becken there, so he's done an amazing job. I'm pretty sure, was that like a 3-second gap just a minute ago that he's managed to gain? Or am I absolutely capping? I don't know. Yeah, Becken must be having some problems because he's lost some time, and then he's also got himself a penalty, so maybe losing a lot of momentum. That was a bit of a track extension there for Devon Young, so he's got to be careful that he doesn't do that again. That's what we saw yesterday. Lots of people just making slight mistakes, and then all of a sudden they got themselves a time penalty. That is what you can see on the screen with a black and white mark next to a few people's names, and those few that don't, they will get some very, very nice advantages come later this race.
Yeah, those time penalties are very easy to come by, don't get me wrong. This track is a killer for it. And I know I make a lot of comparisons to real life in this game today, but you can see, especially turn 5 in the fast right-hand section, you can just go off a tiny bit and boom, there's a warning. And you can just lapse in concentration just a tiny bit and you're already got 3 seconds, so it's a bit tough at the moment. Oh my days! What is going on there? Tom and Gibby have made severe contact. Gibby has lost a lot of time. Tom's round, and that relinquishes me, Cash, of all people. Where does he come from? All the way up into Max's DRS. Max, with those absolutely dreadful tyres, might I add, is going to be susceptible to a guy who's on the much better, much fresher tyres with a bunch of ERS. Is it over?
Mikash was pretty much stuck in a DRS train. He couldn't do anything about it. Now he's going to be unleashed. He will, I assume, make a move right here. He was just sitting behind, couldn't do anything previously. We'll have a quick look. That's a yellow. That is a virtual safety car. As soon as Mikash was about to go for that move, would anyone go into the pit lane now?
I wouldn't say so, no.
Becken is.
Becken, I mean, he's got nothing to lose, does he? I think. Oh my days, he slowed that down perfectly. But yeah, soft to the end. Oh, he's got damage. He's lost his front wing entirely, actually. That's why. That's such a shame for Becken. On his debut, no less, he's showed some great pace, and then it all gets thrown away. Wait. Hold on, Aaron. I want you to.
It's a full safety car now.
Yeah. For me, it still said the VSC, and then the safety car came out, so I don't know what that's about.
I wouldn't pit.
Anyway.
I still wouldn't pit. I wouldn't pit regardless. I think, is the safety car going to go in immediately?
It will go. Okay. Now, okay, let me think. Okay. So, it is very likely it'll go in immediately, right? Oh no, it has to come in, actually. So we will get 1 lap of racing.
1 lap of racing. We will get 1 lap. I haven't seen that ever.
Goodness.
Okay, this is going to be interesting. We've seen 2 laps in the past, but game rules seem to have changed. So now it's going to be absolutely brutal. In that case, if it's 1 lap of racing, would you actually try and stay out? Oh my days, he's gone into the pit lane.
Huh?
Robbo into the pit lane. I don't understand that. If everybody else follows on, this is golden. What is the Red Bull doing? They're going very slow all of a sudden. But
Mikash is in also.
What is the thought process behind this? I'm not entirely sure. Actually, maybe they might have the advantage, but no.
There's 1 lap.
They might be able to catch up, but it's making the overtakes is the problem. The soft tyres, they're just not going to have that pace. Surely not. Surely not.
Well, they will have a lot of pace. I tell you that. Robbo has got 1 lap, like 3 miles to do it. He's only got about 3 proper overtaking zones. No DRS. Everyone's going to have the same amount of battery. And then all of a sudden, Dave Raptors well, I would say he'd been gifted the win, but he didn't have any penalties anyway, so either way, he's going to get the win. Can I just say Max is on for a P2? Those dusty old 12 lap softs that he somehow made last up until this point. I can't believe this guy.
Absolutely incredible. It is going to be very difficult to hold on to, but not impossible. We will be going racing at the end of this lap. Robbo, according to what you said, there's only 3 main overtaking opportunities. He has to get 2 cars per overtaking opportunity, which is not going to be easy. Not ever impossible, but you're going to have to be very lucky for that to even happen. Oggio, he has to make sure that he does not fight Dave Raptors, because he has to make sure he minimises the damage that time penalty will give him. That's, of course, if Dave Raptors doesn't go and get a time penalty. But we will wait for the confirmation, and then we will be going racing.
Oh, no, never mind. My bad. Yeah, I mean, 1 lap. Robbo is 7th. He needs to overtake 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars and pull away 3 seconds. He could overtake maybe 3, 4 cars. 3 seconds? I don't think so. Now, I'll hand it over to you for the restart.
For one final time, we will go for the restart in Qatar. And for the first time ever in LSI, we will go for a 1-lap race. This is going to be something that we've never ever seen before. Dave Raptors is going for the restart. No, they're still waiting a little bit. I think they might have gone for it. Never mind, they're still waiting just a little bit more. Everybody's warming up. And in a bit, he will finally go for it. There you go. Still waiting, very, 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 very much up to the line to try and get his teammate to make some overtakes. His teammate has made overtakes before the line, so that's going to be an interesting one for sure later on. Trying his best to make his way through the order. There's a bit of a wall, but he's found an opportunity to the outside line, braking as late as he possibly could. Mikash makes a mistake. The Aston Martin trying his best to hold on. Devon Young is involved. He might be able to get involved here. Round the outside, is he really going to have a look? That's not going to happen. He will then eventually get around the outside. That's absolutely incredible. Awesome job. Robbo, P3, going for P2 immediately. And all of a sudden, Dave Raptors trying to help his teammate might even be threatened by his actual teammate anyway. I don't know what's going to happen here. Oggio, P3, holding on fine. Devon Young's going to try and hunt him down. Will he give him mercy, or will he go for the move? Robbo, I think he is going to go for the move on his teammate. They're not going to worry about that. They're going to try and minimize the time penalty. Disadvantage! What was that attempt? That's not going to work. He's going to rejoin, and he's going to once again come out in a decent position. The grip is immense. Around the outside is his opportunity. Can he get the job done? It's going to be a drag race. He's turned in too early, and he's taken them both out. I do not believe it. Robbo's going to cross the line. Dave Raptors is going to win the Qatar Grand Prix. Mikash P3 and Peanuts will take a P4. Max has to settle for 5th. Jaromir in P6. Ballant P7. Tom Brainer. Then Devon Young to P10, and Oggio out of the points. I do not believe it.
How have McLaren done that then? How?
That did not make any sense. Mikash takes the P3 after a very frustrating race for him. He does deserve at least the podium. It's not going to be what he wants. Jaromir's done a very good job. Ballant as well. Both Alfa Romeos from the back of the grid all the way up into a decent point scoring position. That's not bad at all. That was a heck of a race, a crazy race. We'll get the results on our screen. That is Dave Raptors taking the win, Robbo P2, Mikash, Peanuts, Max, Jaromir, Ballant, Tom Brainer, Becken, Oggio, and Devon Young finishing off the order. Then we have Gibby, Monk, Jack Lever, Josh, JJ Larlock finishing the rest of the grid. The race director will be as follows, of course, as usual. The instants, just in case if we need them as well. There's going to be quite a few for us to see. I will quickly go up the other way as well, just in case as well. And then that should be everything. Then to the pit stops. And we'll be back in a bit for the post-race interviews. Hello everyone and welcome back to LSI F1.5 EU Championship. We're today for the post-race interviews. We start with Robbo. Robbo, that was not the worst regarding the strategy and time penalty situation.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy one. The quali was good, P2. I heard Mikash got like a massive toe, so I wasn't too worried. Pace wise, difference considering he got 3 tenths of me in quali. The sprint start was very good, and me and Dave were able to get 1-2. Sadly, with the time penalty at the end, I dropped. I think to P5, and then the race was mad, to be honest. I can't even remember half of what happened. I only remember at the end, I was unsure whether people were going to pit behind onto softs, so I had to risk it. Well, I decided to, and yeah, the pace difference was, it was pretty clear. So I was able to get 3 seconds to everyone with that time penalty. So I'm pretty happy with the end result. It's a shame I couldn't get P1, but I feel I had the pace. But if anyone else were to get P1, I'd prefer it to be my teammate than the rest of the grid.
Very wholesome. Well done today. Very, very good good effort. It was a crazy one. You stayed in it. Job done. Well done. Championship-wise, you extend your way up the order. Silverstone is next, your home Grand Prix. Do you like that circuit?
Yeah, Silverstone's great. Besides what happened last season with that safety car bug, hopefully that doesn't happen again and I get a win taken away from me. So yeah, good track. Let's have a good race there.
Awesome. Awesome. I hope you do. Thank you very much. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Poor track limits.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you, take care.
And we move on to Yaramir. Yaramir, it was a very up and down day. At the end, it was up, and that was the most important thing. That sounded very wrong, but we're going to move past that. Can you take us through your race?
I mean, quali was meh. I had like about, I think, 10 laps practice for this race.
Lovely.
Because I was just very busy. And yeah, quali was meh, okay, whatever. Still finding my pace a bit. Then the sprint race, yeah, that just no comment. And then the race start, and then I quickly found my groove again, and then we had to restart again. So it was about like every time, like losing the hype, building the hype up again, finding the groove again, losing the hype. This roller coaster.
Yeah.
But it was in the end guys' idea to because he was engineering for me to do the medium. I would not have thought of that, so I learned something. I also learned that I can't overtake a safety car outside of the track, which okay, fair enough.
I mean, I think you taught everybody something there. I didn't even know that.
I was like, oh, okay. And then an immediate black flag also. That's what I didn't expect. I was actually waiting for him to overtake me again. And they were like, no, you're done. Oh, well.
Yeah, that is a shame. But you made the most of it in the end. And I think you should be very happy with that one. So really well done. Very proud of you for that. Silverstone, regardless if you'd be there or not, do you like that circuit and do you like it more than Qatar?
No, it's different. It's just different. It's a different track. This is a very fast track, Qatar, and Silverstone is a bit more balanced, where you have to like really use mechanical grip in some corners and wing in the others, and that's fun. I like mixed tracks more. Plus, I do like Silverstone. It's an OG, so I'm a fan.
Yeah, you can never dismiss it. You've always got to race it at some point. Well, thank you very much, Yaramir. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
That's a hard one this time. I learned something.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me.
And we move on to Max. Max, it was a long race. It's a very late night right now. Can you take us through that one? It was looking like it might have been a podium. That was a very bold strategy.
Yeah, it may be a podium, but during the last safety car, I'm just checking my tire wear because my setup naturally to be tuned for maintain the pace
Mm-hmm.
after a huge tire wear.
Yeah.
But yeah, but in the last lap race, I got nearly 80% tire wear with my soft tire, so I'm still happy with that on in P5. Yeah, so maybe
Awesome.
I should pit with my hard tires, not soft tires. But soft tires in the early stage help me to maintain or got some position there, so I still happy with my strategy.
Yeah, I mean, you made the best of it, and you really deserve a good result there. So it's a shame you didn't get the podium, but there are some decent points on the board. So well done today. Very well deserved. Like I said, it's a long old race. It's very, very late for you, or actually very early for you now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your dedication. Yet again, I mention it every week. On to Silverstone. Do you like that circuit?
Actually, I like that circuit, but you know, my my damage on my talent is my raw pace compared to the rest of fields is quite low. So just keep away from contact. Just trying keep trying to do that on every race.
Awesome. Awesome. I like it. Thank you very much. One last question, if you can you describe your race in 3 words?
Oh, what? No words on my. Oh, just a miracle.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Really well done.
Yes.
And we move on to Tom. Tom, that was absolutely crazy. You were up there, you were down, you were up. I think everybody had their up and downs. Can you take us through that one? After was it not the last safety car, but the one before? You were in quite a good position, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I just wanted to undercut, I think Monk, and because a safety car was just a lap later, and I could go full throttle. I was in P2. I've got the pace to keep up with the other guys on the mediums for P5, P6. And then the end was my first got tipped by I think Gibby, and then the safety car again. It just came all together, and it should have ended. So yeah, can't really do much about it.
Yeah, it is a shame. It was a mental race in every possible way, and I do apologise for anybody that it didn't work out for. So, well done to stay in it. It was difficult, but yeah, we have to move on. Moving on to Silverstone. Do you like that circuit? Do you think it's a little bit easier raceability wise? Is that going to suit you more?
I think no. Because I think especially the Mackets and Beckets will prove my skill issues. Um, and I need to see if I can keep up the pace, just stay away from the track limits. But I think it will be very, very hard for me because the other guys will be quicker there than here in Qatar.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, hopefully we can keep some optimism in any place and get you up the order. Come on, can you get a podium for us, please? Can you get a podium?
I try.
Good. All right, thank you very much, Tom. One last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
Flashbacks to Japan.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today. And we move on to Dave Raptors, our race winner yet again. You extend the championship lead even further with McLaren. It's looking pretty good, even though it's a couple races in. How was that?
Yeah, I mean, moving away from obviously all the problems, which are just down to the game, the race was actually really enjoying both sprint and the race. Definitely, I actually think my most enjoyable race of the season was Spain, so it was really good. Qualifying was a bit tough. Just struggling with pace around the track, really. I just have not really bonded with it too well. And then the sprint, I feel like I got pretty lucky with a couple of incidents and made it up to the front. And obviously, Robbo with that last second penalty, really, he should have won that. And I got very lucky to get the 8 points in the sprint. And obviously, with him dropping down to P5, it wasn't brilliant. But I knew he still had a chance to the race. So it wasn't done there. In the race, it was just a basically waiting game to until about lap 15-60 when I came in for a pit stop, which I felt like almost screwed me because I got caught in behind the safety car, which kind of dropped me about 6-7 positions behind Robbo. But for some reason, I managed to find like a ton of pace after the safety car restart and like just put my way through the field and made some outrageous moves, honestly. And went through to actually get on to back of Robbo again, which I wasn't expecting to do. I thought he was going to run away with it before the safety car restart, and then just basically held up with him. Towards the end of the race, obviously the safety car came up, but I knew with having no penalties, I don't think I actually had a warning in that race. I may as well have just stayed out because even if Robbo had put past me, he's obviously got that 3-second penalty, and I didn't really have much else, much more competition than that. So yeah, just basically cruising it away through to the finish. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I think penalties did help me out a lot because Rob obviously got on the track double win. But it's good to see at least in the race he got P2 after I think I let him through just before the end of just at the end of the sector 2. So it's good to see a 1-2 back again.
Awesome. Yeah, really well done. You did a brilliant job today. Out of all the craziness, it was a little bit of up and down for you, but whenever you were down, you made it look like it was absolutely easy. So well done. Yeah, very well deserved. Silverstone, next race. Do you like that circuit? Do you think you can get another win?
I mean, as I said last week, I mean, it's a track that like is liked by a lot of drivers, and I feel like that affects me because for me it's a bit mid. I'm just like hit and miss on it. It's obviously got its overtakes and everything, so it's really good for like I think it'll be a very good race with the top guys especially. But I mean, I think we just have to see how it goes on the day and maybe get some practicing because. I mean, today I think it showed in qualifying. I did absolutely no practice and I just didn't have any pace. And then at the end of the race, seemed to just bring it all in. So maybe get some practice in. I might be fighting for pole, hopefully in the next race.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Dave. Really well said. Really well done. Really well deserved. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Say penalty saved me.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today. See you next week. And we move on to the end of the stream. I say see you next week. We will have a break week next weekend and we will move to Europe for the Great British Grand Prix. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for having the patience with us. It has been very difficult, but we have finally got through to the end of it. Other than that, we will see you next time. Good night.